need a soprano saxophone. I want to play the Titanic theme song too. What? Tom's Music Cape Town. Annual sale. What about saxophones? How much? Let's get it. Severo from Severo Music Studios. I am in Tom's in Cape Town. I'm at their annual crazy clearance sale, and I'm looking to buy a soprano saxophone. I don't know if I'm going to regret it at the end of the day. I particularly have no money, but this would be so worth it. And I'll finally get to play the soprano sax. I'll let you guys know what happens. Just a dream. It's just a dream. No way I bought a soprano saxophone. Not on my budget. Hey. What? What have I done? Welcome everyone, music lovers, sax lovers from all around. I'm your guy from Severo Music Studios, and no, that was not a bad dream. In fact, it was a small dream come true of mine to invest in a brand new soprano saxophone that I've been wanting to experiment and play on for a very long time. Now, I never thought I'd be in the position, especially financially, to afford one. But soon enough, things worked out in my favor because firstly, I'm obliged to give a shout out to Tom's Music in Cape Town. I attended one of their annual killer clearance sales. Some of their products were going for ridiculous prices from what they would compare to, especially compared to their retail price. And I had a hunch, and it was a good one, that the saxophones would be going pretty cheap as well. Now, I had bought myself a saxophone manufactured by Mason. This is a bit of a journey, so let's get into the story. So I had received word from Tom's Music in Cape Town, who I follow on Facebook, that they have their annual sale, including an exciting auction. Absolutely everything was on sale, from their DJ equipment, drum kits, microphones, headphones, MIDI controllers, pianos, guitars, everything that you can think of was on sale. Knowing that I was really on a budget, I hitched a ride from a friend, but when it came down to it, I saw the saxophone and I couldn't resist, and even though I would be broke for a good while, I decided to take the gamble and deal with the regret later. And before I knew it, it was all over and this little beauty was in my possession. This is a soprano saxophone designed, manufactured by Mason. I still think made in China, but designed by Mason. This is the Mason, you know something, I've had this for a while and I never thought to check the model number. This is among the real entry level of saxophone. I absolutely could not, barely even afford this. So you can forget Yanagisawa, you can forget Yamaha, you can even forget Grassi, you know, of which, well, Grassi would be the entry level, but still slightly more expensive than this. But even this was a pretty cheap price, and it even went on sale below that. So I thought I would never have another opportunity. Whether I do or not, I'm happy that I purchased it. But obviously you did not come here for that. Let's get to the unboxing and give our review on this saxophone. Okay, so step one of unboxing, would you guys just look at this? It comes in a nice compact black carry case with the Mason logo embroidered in gold. There's various straps around the body so you can carry it in different ways, either sideways, lengthways, or even as a backpack. First impressions, well, this does not disappoint. Everything looks like it's in its place, nothing is shaking loose, and everything is laid out the way you would expect. One of the first things I noticed while unboxing is that there was a little plastic bag, and then I noticed some white gloves inside. Seriously though, what is with the white gloves? What kind of accessory is this really? Is it for, who plays with gloves on? Is it maybe for cleaning? I'm not sure. But you know, are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? Would you be tempted if you had one white glove? Level with me here. I can even hear it. Sorry, got sidetracked. Anyway, let's just go with it. Let's do it with the white gloves on. Maybe it's better for presentation for moments like this. Okay, now that I feel completely ridiculous, like some sort of cheap magician, let's get into this. Starting with the smaller items, we find the mouthpiece. I'm not sure which brand, make or model this is. I was lucky enough to get a reed with it. Comes with a standard ligature as well as the mouthpiece cover. Moving on to one of the things I really like about the saxophone is that it has a detachable neck, and we are starting with the standard straight neck. As you can see, it is completely straight, and this you will commonly find with most soprano saxophones. They are just completely straight from top to bottom. And here we actually have the curved neck. As you can see, there is just a bit of a curve to this for sometimes a better angle or just for one's comfort. And this is what I like about it. You have the choice. Finally, we come to the grand attraction. And would you just look at this beauty? I wonder if you guys can make out the nice kind of engraving that's along this nice sleek body. Nice and new and shiny. Moving along with some accessories, we have the standard microfiber cloth for when you need that quick shine and clean. Now this isn't lip ice, this is in fact cork grease, which is used to keep the cork from deteriorating and makes it easier to put on the mouthpiece. And here's something I won't keep. This is the standard neck strap. I mean, it has no padding or anything. I'll just use the neck strap that I use for my alto sax. Lastly, we have these curious straps. They are an arrangement of hooks at the back of the saxophone case, so just turn them around, hook this up, and convert the saxophone case into a backpack. Well, there you go. I covered all the bases of which I believe is important in buying a instrument like the saxophone. These are the things that you need to look at and what is actually important to the buyer. Let's just give an overview of everything and give it a rating. First, let's start with the presentation, shall we? And it's second to none. This is a very beautiful instrument for people that are not musically inclined, don't know instruments. That you can put this next to a Yanagisawa and or Yamaha, and people wouldn't know the difference in price. You know, when you start to explain the details of everything, people get to understand. But just on looks alone, this is great. I will be honest that I'm not a fan of the very deep gold lacquer kind of color. I like slightly lighter, and maybe they could have made the keys also different color to the actual rest of the body. Otherwise, I think it's great. And another great selling point, I think, is that, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but there are nice patterns and engravings, kind of detail along the body, which I just think makes it pop and very appealing. So for presentation, looks, I give it a 4 out of 5. Now moving on to build quality. What I've noticed through the years is that there are more and more manufacturers trying to make all these different instruments accessible by making them more affordable. And the way they do that is by using maybe cheaper materials and ways of manufacturing to keep the cost down. So again, it's more accessible to people who want to play, for example, the soprano saxophone, because getting a soprano saxophone is not as easy as, in my theory, to the alto and tenor saxophone. Now the build quality, I would give it maybe again a 4 out of 5 or 3.8 out of 5, for a few reasons, right? First of all, the keys, the ones here in front, they're fine, they're great, they all have an even amount of tension. But when it comes to like the side keys like that over there, when I want to push my E flat, the E flat key with my pinky finger, it is actually quite strenuous. I have to push quite a bit, and with my weakest finger. Yeah, and some of the other side keys are not also they don't have even tension. One other issue with the build quality is the saxophone case itself. It is very cute. I really like the way it comes with its own straps, so it can, you know, transform into a backpack. But my biggest issue is that there's too much wiggle room in the saxophone case itself. It should be nicely enclosed and not moving anywhere, because you're going to be moving around a lot. And if your saxophone is bumping up and down in the case, again, it can contribute to some wear and tear and maybe potential damage on your keys, etc. So it is definitely worth investing in a really good saxophone that really molds around your instrument very well. Lastly is, and just notice on some of the rods, on some of the keys here, there are just panel gaps, be it only about a millimeter or so, but it is one thing I did notice when observing the build quality of this. For example, on the octave key at the back is where I noticed the most, where these two posts meet, or the posts meet between these two end points right here. There's a slight panel gap. I don't know if you can hear this. I'm going to move it up and down. Now, you would not get that on the more well-established other brands, and it's not so much a downside, but let me just say this, this does sometimes contribute. It is a contributing factor. It can just accelerate the wear and tear on the material, on all the mechanics, etc. But otherwise, this is great. 3.8 out of 5. Now, playability. This was another issue of mine. Even before purchasing this soprano saxophone, I had gone to other shops before that play soprano saxophones and who have allowed me to give it a go, and I just struggled because I've been playing the alto saxophone for many years, and the skills and techniques that I use on the alto is not directly transferable onto the soprano. your embouchure, the way you accentuate the notes, your just everything, that all the techniques that you use are not exactly transferable. It's a learning curve, but I must say, actually, when I purchased this, it was actually much easier than I thought, and I am really enjoying it. Now, the thing I said about the build quality, those issues would come into play, but again, it's another learning curve. For the price, for a beginner, it is perfect. I think the affordability, the playability of this is just perfect. I would give the playability a 4.5 out of 5. Well, this finally concludes my video for today, and what fun it was. It's really like Christmas for me, and this is definitely the last kind of, spending I'm going to be doing in a long while. 2022 has been an absolute blessing for me, upgrading so much of my equipment, including my big PA speakers, my mixer, as you saw in one of my last videos right here, and now actually getting a new instrument. It has been forever. And here are my babies side by side, and I have something to leave with you guys. All of my instruments that I've been fortunate to acquire through the years, they all have names. Like this saxophone, her name is Roxanne. Of course, they're all girls' names, but for this one, the name is still kind of up in the air. I've been given some suggestions, but I just can't settle on it. It's not clicking, it's not working for me, I'm not feeling it. So I'll leave this challenge to you. If you guys have any suggestions for a name for this saxophone, leave it in the comments below. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. If you watched it till the end, I truly feel like this is a real step up in my music, in my repertoire, and in what I can accomplish musically. And you guys can look forward, because I am certainly looking forward to producing some music with my new saxophone. I'm your guy from Soprano Music Studios. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all know what it is. One rhythm, one life, y'all.